It's difficult to believe that it's been a year since the coronavirus pandemic began disrupting our lives and the lives of everyone on the planet. We've all had our own struggles and difficulties during this lockdown. I've had to adapt to working from home whilst also supporting my children's homeschooling. I've also been unable to see my parents in almost a year, something especially difficult when they feel so isolated also. I'm aware so many of you have endured really difficult years, especially those working in our essential services, to whom we all owe a huge debt of thanks. And I'm also aware of the phenomenal efforts of churches across this country to support the most vulnerable in their communities. And so to you, we also say thank you. Whatever your past year has been like, I hope you've been able to draw comfort and support from the Lord during this time. While most of the UK media has focused on the situation in our country, the pandemic has affected the whole planet, and sadly, our projects across the world have also been impacted significantly. I wanted to give you a brief update about this today. First, the positive news. The majority of our projects across Africa and Asia have been able to restart to some degree. In most instances, our church partners are running activities in smaller groups or supporting children to undertake activities while at home. But also some projects have returned to normal in-person activities. The good news is, letter writing and the delivery of new child photos has restarted too. And most of you who sponsor a child in Africa or Asia will have received at least one update in the past year. Sadly, the situation across Latin America and the Caribbean is much worse, with higher infection levels and severe government restrictions. Most of our projects have been heavily affected, although some project activity is happening in homes, and of course our partner churches continue to serve and support those who need it most in their communities. With projects and even our national offices closed in much of the region, we haven't been able to process and deliver many child letters, but please be assured that our church partners continue to love and care for all children in our programs and serve them as needed with food packs, hygiene kits and medical supplies. Indeed, since the pandemic began, globally, Compassion has been able to distribute more than 10 million food packs and 7 million hygiene kits. All thanks to the generosity of supporters just like you. So I want to sincerely thank you for your support of Compassion throughout this past year. Whether that's through your sponsorship, your prayers, writing to your sponsored child, or through additional financial gifts. Indeed, your generosity meant we could make our largest ever contribution towards the Compassion Christmas Fund and support children and their families during the festive season. I would encourage you to continue to write and pray for your sponsored children. Every letter you send will be distributed to your sponsored child eventually, and our international team are finding new and innovative ways to transfer your letters every single day. While we in the UK might finally have the end of COVID restrictions in sight, in our projects, even in Africa and Asia, the long-term economic and social damage done by this pandemic will be felt for years, maybe even generations. This is why we're so passionate about our mission to release children from poverty in Jesus' name. And it breaks my heart to learn that academics are predicting a steep rise in the number of people living in poverty in the coming years after decades of that number falling. But thanks to your partnership and support, we can continue to serve and empower children to break the cycle of poverty through the local church, one child at a time. I want to say a special welcome to those who are new to Compassion and chose to sponsor a child for the first time during this past year. It is an amazing thing that you've done, just when children in poverty need our help the most. And I'm so glad that you've been able to join us on this journey. Whenever we speak to new supporters, what becomes clear is that so many have chosen to sponsor because either a close friend or someone in their family shared their passion for the work of Compassion. So whether you're one of our amazing volunteers, such as our church speakers who regularly give up their time to speak on behalf of Compassion in churches, or whether you've just spoken up and shared with a friend or a relative, thank you. Thank you for using your voice to help other children in poverty find sponsors. And please contact us if you'd like more resources or support for speaking up on behalf of Compassion. And one final story. During a conversation with a new supporter a few weeks ago, one of my team asked why he chose to sponsor that day. He responded by saying that his mother had been sponsored in Brazil when she was a child. Through Compassion Brazil, she was able to get an education and provide new opportunities for her children, one of whom had now moved to the UK for work and wanted to provide another child in Brazil with the same opportunity his mum was given. Your support is transforming the lives of children, and they then transform the lives of those around them. Thank you for all that you are doing, and may God bless you and your family over the coming months.